You go 1v5 them. I'm gonna go farm some ancients with my forge spirits.
Yeah.
Just the damage output goes up incredibly fast. It's really hard to deal with. Gyro can just itemize to be tanky, Ags, BKB, Satanic. You're probably gonna get a damage item in there, but Invoker makes you go to the next level.
Big blast to show up. Yuragi does manage to snatch up the bounty rune and get the first blood. That goes to Misha on GH. So already a good start for OG. There's mid laner on the dire side. Hey, there's BZM. So because of that first blood, he'll miss out on his block. Creep wave goes into the tower.
I'm surprised Misha just stole that with impetus. You gotta be a little mad if you're one of those OG cores, you know, like.
Yeah, BZM's like, bro, the mid laner, come on.
I used Remnant for that.
Yeah, I skipped Remnant. How dare you?
The audacity, but I like to see this early impetus. I think there's a lot of Enchantress lanes where people forgo this spell a bit too much.
Okay.
They play a bit too passive on this heal, just tank damage, and this impetus spell is still really strong, especially in lanes where you can play aggressive early levels. And honestly, this lane is pretty nice for OG early on. Terrorblade is not that weak of a laner as long as he can be the one going on you, right?
Yeah.
If he's not in some lane where Darkseer's diving him under his tower, so to say, if he can play aggressive early with the early impetus, they might be able to pull ahead in this lane.
And they buffed Reflection so many times that it is a powerful laning ability that he could just spam anytime his Enchantress starts to go on the offensive. So
yeah, I mean, 2 more patches and this spell will cost like 10 minutes. So it's on its way.
He's just always off cooldown no matter what. He just is able to constantly create enemy illusions. They'll call it the anime buff, you know, just do anything to make this hero front and center. It's also really good, I mean, speaking of the impetus, right? Really good against the fact you're facing up against a ranged offlane core, right?
Yes, it helps. I don't think their kill threat's that high on this lane, but he can definitely guarantee his Terrorblade farm, which is pretty much all you want with this hero. Because he's going to go jungle at some point anyway. He's not going to defend his tower versus DP's level 6. He doesn't want to get, you know, roamed on by some Quaswex Invoker if Miracle goes that route, which he is, so your plan with Terrorblade is pretty much give him the best early game you can, so then when he hits that jungle, he accelerates as fast as possible, and Ench is going to go ideally roam on mid or play somewhere else after that happens.
And then what, Taiga then takes that safe lane and tries to hold the tower?
Like, if he can do that, he's going to feel really good about it, but there's always that downside of, like, you go up there, you TP up there, you get dove, your game might just spiral out really fast.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see this Coddle come back in the meta. He didn't get changed significantly, but this hero's still really strong in the lane, just infinite blasts, hard to deal with. Enigma does not have a sustain lane down here. It's Weaver. He can do okay versus Coddle if you get on top of him and start chain killing him, but it's not that great when your carry's just getting blasted.
Yeah. And especially considering the early nerfs to Shikuchi, level 1 especially, with that cooldown. That hero is more exposed in laning phase than he's ever been quite some time. BZM seems to be doing a quite nice job, as that was sort of their counter pick to the first pick Invoker. They immediately grabbed BZM's hero, Void Spirit, and he seems to be doing quite well against the Miracle Invoker.
Definitely one of the best matchups versus hero. Pretty much every mid player is going to go to Void Spirit, maybe Kunkka. There's some outliers like Razor you can do okay, but Void Spirit's definitely the premier Invoker counter, but again, it's Miracle Invoker. I mean, ATF Invoker, or BZM Invoker, sorry. Also no joke, so it's probably going to be a first pick hero in this series. We'll just see who gets it on either side.
Do you think OG have so much faith in BZM Invoker that they would be willing to first pick it in like game 2, potentially?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the way that No-Tail was hyping it up, it definitely seemed like...
it's good. It's up there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them get a game 2. We'll see who performs better. That would be interesting. But
man, look at these two, Amar and Taiga. Killed. He's just dead. Hey, both just are playing on like no HP whatsoever.
Well, you know why?
Yeah, why?
Because Kuro killed both their couriers.
Oh no!
So we were talking about Weaver doesn't do well if your carry's just getting spammed, but if he kills all of the enemy's couriers, they have no regen. He took an early Geminate attack, and it paid off, which is pretty rare. Usually you go for this bug build, you get the kills, but like, double courier kill is going to do it.
Nicely played by Miracle with that cold snap just in time to stop the dissimilate and allow the EMP to get that little bit of extra burn there. But yeah, I can imagine Amar's telling Taiga, it's either you or me, bro. Like, one of us has to die in this lane to go get some items.
I mean, it's definitely sad. He was stuck on these double ROPs. Also an interesting item choice, because Gyro's, he can be pretty magic damage heavy, right? And
yeah.
ILTW, he tends to be a skirmisher. He will go these early barrage points, he'll go the early missile. He doesn't have infinite mana on this lane, so it's not that the ROPs are bad, but they kind of became bad when his courier dies, and then he's stuck trying to get to ring, and they kind of got in this position where too little, too late, they end up giving first blood, and it catapults Gyro pretty far ahead on net worth. I know we're looking at the CS here early, but Gyro's already, like, I mean, Terrorblade's not doing bad in his own right.
Nice stomp, but Mars still takes a pretty healthy amount of damage, and is going to have to take a healing salve there from Taiga. And it didn't they, correct me if I'm not wrong, but isn't like Centaur supposed to be pretty good against Gyrocopter in lane? Like CS-wise, you're supposed to have like really good animation and base damage to beat out a Gyrocopter?
Yeah, I think you can do pretty well. I think, again, the double courier snipe in the early lane bullying just by Weaver with the missile ended up putting them in an awkward position. I still think this is a fine lane for them. Like,
oh, Kuro, is he gonna go for it? He will. Taiga gets the kill first, but still, they trade out supports and still manage to get back in time to deal with some of this hard camp pull.
I also think Nigma's pretty happy with these types of trades, though, because anytime you can accelerate Gyrocopter like this...
Oh, yeah, look at him, and he's immediately going for the punish onto Amar. Amar was looking forward to this giant creep wave that was coming in. He had double range creeps, Avery. You know you hate to see it.
Oh, you know he hates it.
Look at him buy back. Immediately, he's like, nope, I'm not missing out on these goddamn range creeps. I will have them. ILTW tips him for the pleasure.
We always hear No-Tail talk about psychological damage, but... How much of that buyback is doing it to your own team? Like, you're in that other lane, you hear this buyback sound at 6 minutes in the game. It can't be a good sign, right?
One of his teammates is like, wait, is this a pup right now? Is it Amar time already? BZM, big nuke to be able to take him down, but BZM is still going to be potentially caught here. Maybe they get 2 kills for 1, though, and that's not too bad. Granted, it's 2 supports for a core, but considering that heavy rotation,
Misha TP'd in.
Yeah, Misha TP'd in, and he's maybe going to go back home in a body bag.
Yeah.
Cold snap, but it is not quite enough. The heal's going to be able to keep him alive.
It's not the type of Ench or Coddle rotation to mid you really want to have to be making, though. They're kind of getting dragged into this, and it's 3 heroes battling Miracle in mid, and he's kind of winning the 1v3. I mean, Weaver died for the exchange, but it is nice for Taiga. He gets a lot of soul XP off that kill, so he catapults up to 5, and it remedies a little of how this bottom lane was going. This is the part of the game where Ench has to make her impact felt in terms of this hero. She has very narrow windows in terms of how her spells interact with the game. She can't get stuff done early with the creep power spikes. It's a question of, is this hero just going to be 0-10 by the end of the game, changing?
Yeah, I remember the last time Enchantress was really big in the patches. We're going to see Misha actually sneak up on Miracle and potentially blow him up. They need some detection. Oh, he kicks away. Nice play by GH. Misha gets a little bit low, but it looks like the heal should be able to sustain him through the harassment. Maybe the gyro nuke. Okay, only hits the Coddle there. BZM able to dodge the rest, almost catching the Weaver mid-Shikuchi, and they're going to go for the kill. Tries to pounce onto Curl, interrupted by the Tornado, nailed by the Boulder. GH looking to be able to finish on BZM, but because that extra little bit he had, BZM was able to get away. Once again, the Acorn just keeps on bouncing around from that big, bad pine cone. That thing is a tanky beast.
The War Pine Raider.
Yes.
Doing work in that fight.
Is under attack.
Honestly, what a weird engagement. Just it's like 8 heroes mid and nobody dies.
Yeah.
Very strange to see. I thought Nigma was going to be able to capitalize on it with the early gyro rotation just because his gyro is so high level, but kind of looked like it did more than it actually did. And honestly, BZM's okay with that trade because he had a regen rune the entire time.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'm down to waste resources. And we see, like, that miracle kill would have been huge if they got it. Because right before this, we were talking about this Ench getting value out of her rotations. That's the exact type of kill you want to have happen. Accelerate your mid, gain your levels back. But
now there is big timing coming up for the Enchantress. I know, like, last Enchantress patch, it was very much like, okay, rotate on first catapult. Like, take that mid tower if you can with the first catapult.
Yep.
Second catapult wave is coming up, so that's got to be a potential timing for Misha to show his worth, right?
Yeah, but where do you go with it?
Yeah, that's true.
It's really hard to just push mid into a Quas Wex. It's hard to go into this Gyros lane. ILTW stayed down here, and they're even going to try and capitalize on it. 4 heroes.
They're going to punish Amar. His Stampede still on cooldown. I'm not sure how GH missed that roll. That looked like he hit him, but either way, it's a very dead horse.
Yeah, Miracle, you know, dodging some of his own teammate spells there, but no problem. But yeah, it's hard to invade these areas for the Hench just because of so much early magic damage. They really need Void Spirit to do it, and EZM is making some action happen. This Coddle Void Spirit can accelerate super fast in terms of the early power spike damage. This is a combo we've seen before. It can be quite nasty, so something to look for as the game progresses. And to some degree, we haven't talked about it, but Yuragi's quietly been farming to the top of the net worth. Mind Control took this top tower. He's in a decent position with the DP, but Terrorblade's having a decent game as well.
EZM shows up. Misha there to ensure Mind Control is not really going to go anywhere. Between the slow and the blast back there from Taiga, they really heavily committed to be able to kill Mind Control. And eventually they do get him, but it comes at a pretty hefty price. Amar trying to defend this off-lane tower. The Siege Wagon might just be able to finish it up.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll see.
Very smart. Drags the creep wave outside of the tower range, so the Siege Wagon dies that much sooner, but it is left on very little HP. Oh, GH spies a stack and is actually going to pop his ultimate to try and clear through it. Kuro's going to play a little bit of interference there, gives up his life perhaps a little bit faster than he intended, but they are taking that stack.
Who's taking it?
Oh, never mind. All right, Taiga, he got wind of it still. GH, I feel like, got a hefty number of those. Nice kick back there on the Centaur with the Tornado as well on top. A pretty clean extraction there as the Gyrocopter coming in from the other side. ILTW, the skirmisher you called him, and he shows up at a perfect time to be able to ensure 1, maybe 2 kills. Taiga, GH wants it, gets the kick, he's got the sounds pull back, and surely Miracle will be enough to finish him. He is indeed.
And mid tower goes down off the back of that DPO. Where did Mind Control even come from in that fight? He came from the top river.
Just a long journey.
Yeah, but really strange engagements, to be honest. A lot of these like river fights you don't see too often. This game has insane tempo in terms of the skirmishes. BCM has an invis, so no detection.
Oh!
Went into the sentry.
Yeah, and with the bug on him, he can't jump away. The Tornado into the roll, and we were talking about what were the potential heroes to pick up. And we talked about a number of different 4 positions, but the Earth Spirit Invoker combination, Nigma has obviously pushed this one to the limit for many years now.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty strong if you get into that mid game. And they got out of the lanes okay-ish with it, so not a lot of downside for them as this game progresses. And honestly, Nigma's, they're progressing their game plan decently in terms of getting this Gyro super farmed and having him get buffed up later. It's again comes down to how much can this Void Spirit get done, and they're smoking him again to try and get more action on the map.
And they're kind of baiting Amar, I think, as the smoke's gonna break. Breaks on an invisible Invoker. BZM well aware of it now, but not much he can do about it. He just assimilates backwards.
Gyro
all the roll in, but he managed to astral step away just in time. GH does roll into a little bit of danger here. The Stampede's gonna go down. Another beautiful Tornado interception. It's not enough to be able to save GH, but maybe Miracle can keep his own skin intact as he's able to back himself away. Misha is there, but only as a little piggy. So 13 minutes in, and OG kind of pushing back on all this aggression that we were seeing from Nigma. I mean, these were definitely 2 of the more aggressive teams when it came to the Gamers Galaxy tournament.
Yeah, it's showing here. I love this kind of Dota, to be honest. Like when carries are basically in every type of engagement. We saw Yuragi show up here finally.
Yeah.
He has this nice Dragonlance Yasha time. He gets a tower off the back of it. He's pulling super far ahead. Honestly, just really cool fights to see. I'm not sure who it's entirely favoring. It feels very odd in a way. It's there's a lot of random deaths, a lot of random tower deaths, but the game still feels very even. I have to say it slightly might favor Nigma just because it feels like this Centaur's impact is going to be somewhat muted. This hero is a very timing sensitive hero in terms of you get this blink and then what do you do with it? It's hard for me to see him go in here. Like Nigma is here just piling.
Nice thunder at the last seconds. They still have plenty of damage to be able to bring down Yuragi if they can keep him in place, but they can't. GH was unable to get another round of disables in, and GH is actually going to be pulled back into a stomp there from Amar. They get that fast kill. Kuro in the back lines actually gets a little bit low as well. So OG with a very successful defense and perhaps a little bit more. They're going to be able to bring mind control a little bit low, but BCM's got to be careful. Nice stomp in. What is he going to do with that blink dagger? He shows up big time in the first one. BCM barely able to slide away from Kuro just in time. Miracle throws out a desperate tornado. It's not going to catch BCM, and it may not save Miracle's life either, as he's going to be slowed down by that solar bind. OG playing that very defensive fight to a picture-perfect result. Nobody dying, and they managed to pick up the kill on both Mind Control as well as Miracle.
That's about as fast of a high impact you can get out of a Blink Dagger as I think I've ever seen. Just
that's true.
Mid-delivery of that fight, instant blinks, 2 core heroes stun. Very weird engagement though by Nigma in terms of the Gyro and Invoker showed up with MC. MC goes in with that DP ult, and then Gyro goes back to farm his own jungle.
Yeah.
He was like, I did my part. I'm not gonna. I have creeps to hit. I'm not taking this fight.
Yeah, I've got to keep up with that Terrorblade, who's currently over 2,000 net worth ahead. Now, you said you were kind of leaning towards Nigma, despite the TB farming so much. Are you not like? Do you feel like Gyrocopter Invoker is enough to offset the Terrorblade threat?
It's strong, but honestly, this Terrorblade is. He is a force to be reckoned with, and it's not that easy for Nigma to fall in him, right? If he can just sit here in front line like this, because he's so strong so early, how do they just go on him and all in him? It's off the GH silence or DP silence, but that's where things like the Blinding Light, some End Shield, the Stampede, a rare spell that you don't interact with a lot, they kind of have 2 soft saves in terms of that.
This Tumbler's toy, Amar is making it look really good here, and ILTW is going to fall as a result of that one. Nicely played, and look at that. Amar, he's got a long memory, and he does not forget those tips. He ensures that he will always pay them back like a Lannister. He pays back those debts.
You can make me buy back, but I'll make you buy back later.
8-13 OG, the pretty healthy net worth lead of 5,000 right now.
Yeah, OG is pulling ahead in this game. They just made some really nice moves. They made this Centaur timings pay off. He had a rough early game, but the payback was real. BZM held down the fort, so to say.
Yeah.
And now he's going to start to scale like a beast because, again, this Coddle Void Spirit, this is no joke in the late game, especially when he has things like Arcane Rune and an early gem pickup.
Really?
This is a very rare timing to see a gem in 17 minutes, but definitely helps them deal with this Ghost Walk and the Weaver, which have been super annoying in the fights. Very daring Roche attempt here, though.
I've been seeing earlier gems, but I attribute it more to like Templar Assassin and clearing out traps. Really interesting that it's still thinking.
He just got found with it.
They managed to find it. The gem. Ew, no, it's immediately going to be dropped onto the ground. Is anybody going to be able to pick it up? OG, they're on full retreat here, so it looks like Nigma should be able to pick it up after they're done feasting on Amar. Their eyes, as well as ours, were all towards that Harpy, checking out the pit, and they said, wait a minute, nobody's in the pit. Where's Nigma? And then next thing you know, they're 5-man smoked right on top of BCM, and they get that fast kill, and maybe Nigma, that ambitious Roshan, can still pay on some dividends, as unfortunately they're going to lose Kuro, so maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know why Kuro was there, but we were talking about this gem dealing with Miracle. Well, that's also about one of the fastest gem swaps I think I've ever seen.
Oh no.
Super high net worth swing, to be honest. I mean, it's 18 minutes, it's like 2K gold, but he got 0 spells off, just perma silence off the chain silence. And Omar blinks in, but yeah, there's this tornado, it disrupts him, and then there's no one to stun. That's kind of the downside of Centaurs. If you get disrupted in that initial go, you're kind of just sitting massive. Yeah, Centaur, whatever he's made out of.
He's just a hunk of meat.
I guess so, yeah.
He's like one of those hanging slabs of meat that that Rocky beats up on, you know?
It's a training mechanism.
Yeah. feel like that's the Centaur, the Axe syndrome. You know, you get your Blink Dagger, you blink in, you cast one spell, and then maybe you start a good fight, but
yeah,
you're also probably just dead.
Something else to note is Taiga went for Dagon this game. This is a Chad build right here. Like, I'll say something about this OG squad. These guys are some Chad players. Like, 17-minute gem, Dagon coddle, just go in, make the right play. I will say, if they can get the right fights with it off the Solar Bind Dam, this build's still viable. It deals a huge amount of damage. It also helps Centaur in making sure that his stuns count for a lot. Being able to burst the hero you go on, right? It kind of can make sense to me. It's really annoying for Weaver, for example, if you can kill him in the first jump and he can't get the time lapse off. The downside is Enigma cores get BKBs.
Yeah, wouldn't I mean, okay, BKB would still be a problem there, but I feel like any sort of like Aghanims, for example, or any support item that helps the TB, wouldn't that just be better than trying to focus?
Job. Come on, man.
That's the 5 positions job. The 4 position is trying to transition into a core right now.
I mean, that's every coddle player. Like, they're gonna play to carry the game. That's what this hero does. He's a 2 masquerading as a 6er.
Oh, big Stampede Blink. They're gonna be able to find Miracle here. Big kill for OG. And they also pop meta for that, so Roshan for them?
Definitely on the menu. And this was Terrorblade Scotty timing, so that's the best target you can find and the best objective you can get off of it. You're talking about him pulling ahead. He's like 4K up now.
Yeah, seriously.
This boy's a beast. And maybe you should make a Marv guy back, because he seems kind of mad and he's taking out his vengeance here.
He's like the Hulk. You don't want to make him angry, Kuro. They're going to throw it in. GH, he tries to roll in, but unfortunately he's just a second too late, and immediately he's decimated, as is Mind Control perhaps. He's having some big issues, but maybe not. The Metamorphosis actually runs out at the perfect timing. ILTW, though, slowed down by the Scotty. He tried to man up, but the Terrorblade, it was a little bit too much for him. Still, though, the rest of Nigma are alive. They're trying to keep their distance away from this TB. He's got the Aegis after all. There's no point to commit here. Kuro, once again, this Tumbler's toy. Goddamn. Don't get another item, Amar. This is working out beautifully for you.
They left the gem. Oh, Kuro had it at the end there. He died up on this, near this cliff.
Oh, the courier's coming. Oh, no, the courier. Nigma, they're not going to be there in time. Oh, wait, maybe Misha knows. Misha. You got to hurry, bro.
He'll get it. He'll drop a fluffy hat or something. He doesn't want to drop his fluffy hat.
Oh, he was trying to
bait the courier. That's greedy, but could have paid off. I mean, that was a GH buyback. I'm surprised Nigma tried to take that. Kind of Nigma style. They really hate giving up Roshans. They almost always try and contest, but Miracle's dead for 10. He can't even get to this fight. GH just gets obliterated by the Dagon. And it looked like MC was just going to get shredded here, but he got bailed out by that meta timing. Super fortunate.
Now, this is something that I noticed a lot at Gamers Galaxy, and as you say, this is a trend continually with Nigma. Don't you feel like they commit too much? I feel like they're always losing Roshan fights. I don't know what it is, but every single time they get close to the Roshan pin, it's just not good news for Nigma. As they're going to lose Miracle and Kuro as OG Hunting Squad continues to run around the map, and apparently the Dagon's paying off already.
I think Nigma's a team where it might feel like that because it's like I said, they hate giving it up. So they contest a lot of times in situations where it's honestly really difficult to contest it. Like that fight is just an almost impossible fight. There were some small things that went like down for them in terms of the Gyro BKB versus Thunder and some of these small timings in the fight, but when your arguably strongest hero Miracle isn't there on this Invoker, and he can't even get there, it's just a difficult fight. Maybe if GH snatches an Aegis or something, but those types of engagements are just difficult, so
in other words, they have the most bad Roshan fights because they just have the most Roshan fights, period.
Well, I wasn't trying to blame them, but you just went in there.
I mean, I'm like, listen, I saw it at Gamers Galaxy. Like, I swear to God, they lost like every Roshan fight they tried to take.
Honestly, I will say, I feel like some of these more aggressive fight contests or Roshan things tend to work better on land than online. Just to fit the narrative even more there, you know, confirmation bias, but on land, people tend to play a bit more scared or grouped,
Yeah.
So if you're the more aggressive team, you can sometimes take advantage of that.
Radiant's top
Whereas
tower
online,
is
like
under
we're
attack.
seeing here, there's no bars held in this game. They're just running Enigma constantly, using their advantage to good avail here.
I mean, you said they were the most Chad team.
They're looking like it. Tumbler toy into Stampede. I'm not even sure they saw anything there, just fishing.
Oh, smoke's gonna break. Dives behind the tier 2, barely misses out on spotting ILTW, and is now maybe gonna get caught though. Enigma, they're gonna get sandwiched at the same time. There's a gigantic Terrorblade coming in from the other side, and Mark's gonna go for a TP out. A desperate one at that, it doesn't actually make it through. Yuragi's being slowed down by the supports. They do manage to kill Kuro, snatching him up by BZM, and TB delivers the damage. Enigma Galaxy though, trying to play cat and mice here into the
man.
Really nice deafening blast there into the meteor. They have to pop their BKB. And this Terrorblade, he's going to get caught in the second life. He's not going to have that metamorphosis. This could be a disaster for OG as Misha's going to get run down. Can the TV get out of here? GH is able to roll into him. Immediately the damage comes in though. Taiga blows up 2. BZM trying to help out the Yuragi, pull him back in, keeps the Terrorblade on top of these range heroes with the Scotty, and he delivers the damage to be able to get these kills. It seems like a melee TB is just as good of a threat as a ranged one.
Well, when you're standing on top of them.
Yeah, that's probably
they went fisticuffs there, but honestly, a decent fight from Nigga in terms of splitting it up. This TV didn't get to do almost anything with that first meta, but yeah, 2 lives is just way too much HP to get through, and it's so much time for BZM to just clean people up on the back end of these fights. He basically soul killed Invoker in that fight, and then he gets refreshed by some chakrams, or you know, his Witchblade comes up again, and he's got his gem back.
Yeah, I mean,
having a fantastic game.
You said this combination of Coddle Void Spirit is like a monstrous late game, and they showed it in that last team fight.
I mean, it's just so much damage. Once your BKB's out, and ILTW might have to pop it again. He can't get it off.
He's just blown up too quickly. He might have even just taken too much damage from that initiation from BZM. Weaver's going to be able to pop the time lapse in Shikuchi way, but actually the supports might catch him still. But they have no stuns. Who needs stuns if you have damage? That's what Taiga's motto is.
Yeah. He hasn't upgraded the Dagon though. Kind of disappointed. Or did he have it on his courier maybe? Got sniped again?
Yeah, surely you would have he's had that Dagon 1 for a while. Surely you would have 2 or 3 by now. Time for high ground. 25 seconds for the Gyrocopter.
Full Ags and level 20 on this Void Spear. He is just untouchable, it feels like.
Nice tornado timing. GH is going to be able to nail him with the roll in. He's silenced as well. Self-tornado, but a roll on top of that one. Oh, he was so close to hitting him, but he slid right past the Void Spirit as he came down from the Yule Scepter. He tried to do the kind of delayed stone drop, because GH realized his timing was going to be a little bit off there, but even that little tricky play was not good enough.
Radiant's top
Terribly just taking your base here, guys.
Yeah.
This guy's way too far ahead. It's impossible to engage on him here.
It seems like perhaps OG is going to give up before they can finish up the melee barracks. They're not going to push their luck. They're pretty happy, and they've got a potential Roshan spawn time in a little over a minute, so better to...
Yeah, there's no reason to ever really take a fight at this point without meta, because your whole network's on this Terrorblade, and the only situation in which you lose something is this guy somehow gets bursted or he can't hit people. So if you have meta, you eliminate one of those. Yeah, GH, they almost got this hit, but it was a little too fast, you know. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta slow it down, be a little patient.
Got a little anxious there. Back into the game we go, as OG have defaulted to their side of the map. Terrorblade's just clearing out 70% of the map with all of his illusions all over the place, and Enigma pretty much just scrounging for whatever scraps they can find in the jungle.
ILTW, he joined a lot of these early fights. He went this Maelstrom BKB build, which is a build you really want to win the fights off of, because now he has to go Ags third in order to try and scale into this late game, and Ags is majority a farming item until you get 1 or 2 damage items later, so his build's kind of, not backwards, but it's unfortunate in terms of the efficiency. He really needs 1 or 2 more items to compete with this Terrorblade, which means Nigma's really looking to stall this game out. They cannot take a head-on 5-on-5 right now.
Mind control. Maybe going to be spotted here. BCM just kind of fishing into the triangle.
Haste.
Didn't know exactly where anybody was. Almost found GH and mind control, but ends up getting neither. Or maybe he's going to be able to get both. He pulls back mind control. Dissimulat's going to do a decent amount of damage. Misha is here maybe to help deliver the finishing blow. They actually managed to get a nice two-man stomp. A push back in. Miracle certainly dead, and ILTW, he will fall right after him. Oh, what a jump from Amar, and he double tips him this game. He says, laning phase, it's whatever, man. It's about winning the game. That's the important part. Amar's going to go ahead and complete the trifecta, perhaps. A third stomp onto a third
Rid him into the next game right there.
And OG, that may just be it. They're going to force out some buybacks. I don't think Nigma can possibly fight without their Gyrocopter, so it's going to be 2 lanes of barracks at least.
Yeah, it's out-spam it. Hope it takes him longer than...
Look at Amar, he's already got the mantles.
Oh, you already know. You already know this man's thinking about the fountain camp.
Oh no, Amar, don't do it to him. This is a proud team, a proud organization. They're TI winners, for God's sakes, Amar. You can't be dropping mantles on them.
He hasn't dropped them yet, you know. He's just thinking about it. He's just warming up the idea.
Look at him, he's re-queuing them up. He's even bought one on accident. Oh man, he is too excited. It doesn't look like it, but on the inside, he is absolutely giddy to be able to beat ILTW here.
It does honestly feel pretty good when you have like one of the worst early games. I mean, his wasn't the worst, man. Like honestly, his early game wasn't that bad.
Sure.
For what happened, it was should have gone better, but it wasn't like he had no game. But he probably feels pretty good in terms of how he played coming back from that.
Yeah, being able to bounce back from that.
That's a good trait to have as a player.
Yeah.
When people dunk on you and then you get mad and then you just dunk on them back.
That's an off-laner trait for sure, right? You gotta get mad. Dying in lane. Oh, Yuragi! He almost made it up to the high ground, and ILTW would have been in big trouble. In fact, you could see he immediately just BKB TP just out of fear of what that Scotty would do to him. But he doesn't fight. Who will? They're going to be giving up megas if they don't try and put a stop to them here. OG marching forward.
Gyro hold to try and kill this harpy creep. This thing's still flying around, giving insane vision.
Oh, Amar goes for the initiation stampede. They're going to be able to find GH, just a simple pullback, and now he gets the stomp in. That's going to be on mind control. Mind control cannot stand up to the physical damage of the Terrorblade, who gets force stabbed in, finds ILTW, can't even crawl back to the fountain. Amar begins the drop. That's right. Offer your hand.
He was trying to high-five him too, but nobody wanted him to get, no one wanted to give him a high-five. Unsurprising.
Well, ILTW died too quickly to give him a high-five.
That's also true.
So,
I mean, honestly, just a game of pure aggression from OG.